702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 9 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us. You're on 702. Clement is not here. Thabo in his stead. We're together till 12. I'm thrilled that you decided to join us and you chose us out of so many others. It means that we must indeed make it worth your while, and it will be worth your while. The entire team is here, and the most important ingredient is you. Really appreciate it. Let me just, without any further ado, go straight to it and just to let you know what's coming up on the show. Obviously, the open line, we kick off with that, and I always invite you to send your worth, your views, your thoughts, your queries, your ideas about anything else that may be taking place in your neck of the woods. It could be at home, at work, at play. I want to know what is on your mind. There could have been something that took place a few days ago and we might not be aware of that. You are most welcome to share that with us and let the entire world know about it. It's the 4th of September 2025, Thursday, and spring is indeed here. One of the things that I'd like to speak about on the open line is the fact that so many people have died on our roads in the past week, 14 to be exact. Yesterday, 5 people died. I think it was on the N1 road due to road carnages. Our driving in Gauteng, Johannesburg in particular, is something to really look into. We need to put a spotlight on that. So many people die on our roads, and it seems to be normal with us. I mean, some time ago, I was standing in for John Perlman on his show, and I spoke about the phenomenon of the ambiguity of the amber light on the traffic lights. And a lot of people, some called in to just put me in my place as usual. And people say, of course, Thabo, the rules are very clear on amber lights. Yeah, I suppose now you know what I'm talking about, right? If the rules are so clear, why is it that no one is following the rules? Some people, when their robot turns amber, they fly through. They don't slow down. I know what the law says, but practice is what we were talking about. Obvious as it may be, these are the issues that we need to put on the table and examine ourselves, look into our conscience as drivers. What is it that we are doing wrong on the road? And the level of anger, goodness me. People are ready to get out of their cars and beat you up right now, right here. Where does that come from? You could just erroneously do something and wave your hand. People are ready especially in Gauteng, especially in Johannesburg, the level of anger. And I'm wondering to what extent do all these things that I've mentioned, to what extent do they contribute to the carnages that we see on our roads? Are you an angry driver? Are you considerate on the road? Or is it just about you and that meeting because you left home late, or you had a fight with your spouse, or you are just angry at your boss and you are taking it out on anyone else without indicating your movements, shifting to the other lane? You just bulldoze your way through, and anyone else who dares to ask you for some accountability, you are ready to take out your hockey stick and deal with them right there on the spot because you know that there won't be any consequences. The consideration on the roads is not there. What is going on? 14 people died. And I know you may say, yeah, Thabo, it happens all the time. Here's the thing about these things. I don't want us to get used to those numbers. It shouldn't be normal that people are dying like that on our roads and we keep quiet. We shouldn't be numb. We shouldn't have a sense of fatigue when expressing these things. It should be an abnormality. It should be something that we are all disgusted about. We can't allow that to be an ordinary day. Business as usual. Okay, 14 people died. Let's move on. What are we going to speak about? Oh, did you see what Zuma did today? It can't be. It cannot be. This affects you and I directly. We use those roads every single day, every hour. As I'm talking to you, some of you are listening to me whilst driving. Guys, we need to examine ourselves. I'm putting myself out there as well. We truly need to think twice. If you are late, you are late. Don't make it another person's problem, because you create the problem behind you and you drive off and you leave 10 people dead behind you and you just don't care because no one realized it was you, or you just happened to just drive away. It's not normal. It's not normal. 14 people die on our roads in just a week. No, please, let's say something about that. Give us a call. What kind of a driver are you? Are you calm? Are you considerate? Are you thoughtful? Or are you angry? And at times you can't help it. Listen, admitting it helps, right? That's a first step. And have you been involved in an accident? What happened when you're involved in an accident? How did it come about? Was it your fault? Was it someone else's fault? And it's very rare to be involved in an accident and find someone who admits that they were wrong. Very rare. It's always someone else's problem, right? No, he made a turn. No, it's always someone else's problem. I've never had someone say, it was me. Honestly, I was in a hurry. I didn't look. I didn't care to just have a gaze at the mirrors. I just, without even indicating, moved to another lane, and there it was. I should have done better. No one ever says that. No one ever says that. However, we are quick to demand accountability from authorities, from government, from public sector, private sector. We are so ethical. We demand the very best, but in our lives, that doesn't happen. That accountability must happen elsewhere, not in our lives. We can't be hypocrites, guys. We can't be. 14 people died. Those are people's parents, people's children, grandchildren, uncles, nephews, CEOs, business entrepreneurs, nurses, doctors. It doesn't matter what is it that they did, but those are lives of individuals. And they're precious. Every life is precious. There are so many people crying right now, in tears. When one person dies, at least, I would like to assume, at least 2,000 people are affected, including those who have to attend the funeral. So let's do better. I want to hear from you, if you don't mind. What kind of a driver are you, especially if you are in and around Johannesburg? Have you been involved in an accident? What happened? Was it you? Was it the other person? But most importantly, what can we do to reduce these levels of carnages on our roads? What can we do to reduce fatalities on our roads, an accident? What practical steps that we should take? Let me know on 011-883-0702. Let's not avoid this one. Let's not move elsewhere. Let's face it head on. It's a serious crisis. It's a massive crisis. JMPD perhaps may not say that, but it's a big, big issue. 14 people died. 072-702-1702. Please send your text messages and your voice notes to that number. And that's what we'd like to explore on the open line. But also I want to put on the open line the issue of the service industry and some workers that we generally don't care about that much. Waitresses, waitrons who work in restaurants who don't get a basic salary, car guards who don't get basic salaries, and who have to live on tips. Even those tips, they have to share those tips with their bosses. At the end of the day, the bosses would be taking that money that they've collected, that you and I would have given them, and then they would have to share that money with them. That is modern day slavery. We can't allow for that to happen. Are you in that space? What is your experience as a waitress, as a waitron? What's your experience? As a car guard, as a cleaner, what's your experience? When we talk about labor relations, we ascribe it only to people who wear a shirt to work, who've got offices, who have titles and so on. No, that should apply to everyone across board. And we must call out those shopping malls, those restaurants, those outlets that abuse waiters and waitresses. If we are so keen on walking the talk, if really our business is calling out inefficiencies and incompetencies, then we must do so across the board. Those people are there. The car guards are there. They live on that 2 rand, on that 5 rand, on that 10 rand, 20 rand, which they have to share with their bosses. And chances are their bosses get money from a shopping center, and over and above, they even go to an extent of grabbing whatever little that these guys have raised. Please let us know. 011-883-0702.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7.
and 106 FM.
I've been speaking too much. I suppose that's my job, right? So let's give you a chance as well to say something. 011-883-0702. I'd love to hear from you. You know how I scan the calls. I won't say it because I'll be in trouble with Abel. Melvin, you are in Germiston. Good morning.
Good morning, Thabo. I hope you're well.
I try. I'm flustered by all these things. But what's on your mind? Good morning. Thanks for calling, Melvin.
Strongs to the 702 family. I know it's the funeral of TD this morning.
Certainly.
All the best, and I hope everything goes well.
Yeah,
Thabo,
definitely.
I take myself as a very responsible and a very calm driver. You know, I'm a father. I also have a family of 4, 2 little ones. And I'm not going to lie to you, I do sometimes get very angry at how some of the people drive on the road. But because I'm always with them, I try not to have any outrage or outburst.
In front
they're gonna
of them.
ask me, in front of them, what's wrong, Daddy? What's going on? They're very inquisitive. But one thing that I shared earlier with your producer is, I was in Mozambique in October last year. And, for every 1 kilometer that you drive, there's a law enforcement officer that awaits for you. So you can never accelerate to 60, 80, 100. Because just as you're about to, drive a little bit faster, then there's a law enforcement officer waiting for you. And I found that very interesting. And it actually kept my speed limit to 60, 80 every time. And I think in South Africa, we've got that problem where we don't have law enforcement visibility. We'll see
Visible
one or two
policing.
guys parked on the highway, visible policing from our EMPD, from our JMPD, and also from our TMPD. Every year, a lot of graduates are taken in by these different law enforcement agencies, but we don't see these guys on the road. I mean, if we look at the accident again that happened this past weekend, with the DJs as well, early morning.
Yeah.
So unfortunate, Thabo. But for me, like I said, my experience in Mozambique showed me that it's actually doable because we do have the law enforcement officers in our offices. We know the challenges of overtime and the fights that's currently going on, But if we can have, more visibility on the roads, I think we'll avoid a lot of those things. And if our guys can just also refrain from all the wrong things, the cold drink and those things, as we call it.
Got you, bud.
We can actually, we can clear up our roads. We can have less accidents.
I think you've said it all, Melvin, because, whenever you see a traffic officer on the road or the vehicle, you drive differently. You then, there's a sense of sobriety that kicks in almost subconsciously that, hey, what's the speed here? And let me just try to behave. Melville, thanks for that. Really appreciate it. And we go straight to Linton, who's calling us from Kempton Park. Linton, hi.
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm trying, man. How are you?
Good. Firstly, I would like to say, may our sister on radio rest in peace, soul rest in peace.
Amen.
As she's laid to rest today. I haven't had a chance to send that to the radio. I've always been listening to her.
Yeah. No, we appreciate it. We appreciate it, and I'm glad that you're starting on that note. Thank you so much, Linton.
Yes.
All the best.
All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes. So I'm definitely sharing the same sentiment with the guy who you just spoke to now. But now my concern is, yes, there might be visibility on the road. I'm an Uber driver, by the way. I'm always on the road, as you can imagine. I've seen people driving recklessly in front of the police. I'll be stopping on a traffic light, and there's a police vehicle, whether in front or at the back of me, and you see a guy just skipping a red traffic light. And those guys, they don't care even just following that person to give him a fine or give a fine. And I've seen so many, that's so concerning that I've seen so many people on the N3 next to Edenvale off-ramp and Greenstone and London off-ramp. I've seen so many pedestrians crossing over on the highway, and sometimes you will see a Metro Police car next to the highway. But those guys are just sitting in their cars, busy on WhatsApp or busy on their cell phones. So you can't even see them acting upon on it. It's just concerning because those people put their lives in danger. And just yesterday, I picked up my daughter from the bus stop. She got off a taxi. When she got into the car, she started crying. And I asked her, what's wrong? She said, Dad, we nearly got into an accident in a taxi that I was in because the brakes failed.
Oh, man.
And the guy had to hit the pavement to stop the
Oh,
taxi.
my goodness me. Oh, my goodness. Hey, what a sad story. Thanks, Linton. Really appreciate it. Thabo Shole-Mashao in for Clement Manyathela. We're together till 12:25 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'd love to hear from you. And who's up next? It's definitely Julian. Julian in Rustenburg. Julian, hi.
Thabo, how are you doing, man?
I'm trying, man. How's it?
Oh, blessed. It's sunny in Rustenburg. We skipped our spring altogether, went straight to summer.
So sorry, I missed that.
No, we skipped our spring altogether and we went straight to summer.
Yeah, typical of South Africans to skip processes, eh? Straight to summer. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. What's on your mind?
No. Thabo, I was just listening now this morning what you were talking about waiters, just more specifically on waiters. Sorry, I can't comment on car guards and whatnot. No,
feel free to. Yeah.
I have a restaurant in Rustenburg, and this that you were saying that they don't, there's prescribed minimum conditions in the Basic Conditions of Employment Act.
Yes.
Where anyone who does business or conducts business for you should be earning minimum wage or better.
Yeah.
So, for example, in our restaurant, they get the hourly rate depending on how they've worked in the week.
Yeah.
So they cannot earn less than that.
Yes.
And tips are inadmissible as a form of earning. That would be seen as a special bonus. So I don't know if you guys want to maybe get a labor broker or someone on board that can maybe discuss between the different bargaining councils and the basic conditions of employment.
No, we should.
Because it's disgusting for me to hear that there are still premises out there that are getting away with it, because that's how it used to be. But I mean, in the last 5 years, they've changed all those rules.
No, you see.
And the guys are earning properly.
Yeah, and I don't want to interrupt you, Julian, but I have to let you know that, all these things come up, especially when you go to a restaurant and they would ask you, the ladies, the guys would ask you, I'm sorry to be doing this, but do you have cash? And then when you're asking why, it says, 1, I'm not going to get the tip, and 2, I have to share the tip with the management and everyone else, but 3, I don't have a basic salary. So if you have cash, I'll be able to catch a taxi, go home and come back tomorrow. And when and I've heard this a million times or more, wherein you feel so bad for all these individuals. And when you really take the owners to task, you'll be exposing these people and they'll be ostracized, isolated, or even fired. So you're wary of raising your voice. And I have to say this before I give you a last shot, Julian, that I am well aware that it's not all restaurants. I know that there are good people out there who treat their employees like gold, and I encourage them to do that. But there are so many others that are creating a nasty blemish on their industry altogether. Last word, bro. Last word.
Yeah, so the thing is in that case, then it's for the Labour Department, where they dived in last year. They were busy going through everyone with their foreign nationals and everything that weren't up to scratch.
Yeah.
The Labour Department needs to take it further then and actually go and investigate the guys to see that they're paying their people right and everything. And the waiters and everything need to understand that there's unions that can help them with this as well.
Yeah, there are. Julian, thanks for your call. Really appreciate it. 011-883-0702. Nicholas, you are in Pretoria. Hi, welcome.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm trying, Nick, especially this morning. It's a bit tough. How are you?
I'm okay. I like your question that you said, how can we reduce the accidents? I think I propose your question to be one of the topics for the national dialogue, the dialogue that they're going to have. I really think it must be one of the topics. I think they must include it. How can we reduce accidents, especially when we are approaching towards the December season, because a lot of people are dying on the road. So I did try to think of things that cause accidents. Number one is the roads are very narrow. You must imagine now that the roads is just a double, two cars driving at 120 in opposite directions. Only separated by a white line. That white line, even if a car steps on it, doesn't know it's on the wrong side of the road. So the government needs to enlarge the roads. They need to build bigger roads. And when they build roads, they should make it one way. They mustn't put two cars going in opposite direction on the same road. It's going to cause head-on collisions. So, because what happens there, one car, especially at night, one car has got lights. So the car that is, you're facing oncoming traffic, and those lights, some of these new cars have got Xena lights. You see these new cars have got these LED lights. So those LED lights, they are very bright, and they some people's eyesight, they blind people that are driving. So those kind of things, to avoid cars the lights hitting you in your face, they need to make it one-way roads. We should close all the two-way roads, and then government needs to invest money in building on one-way roads. And then the other one is...
Nick sadly, we don't have time for another one, but that's simply because it's 9:30 and I have to take Eyewitness News. I apologize profusely for that. Please stay tuned, and we'll come back with your calls. Hilton, Anonymous, and many others. Selma, and many others will come back to you on 011-883-0702, 29 minutes to 10.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
24 minutes to 10 o'clock. It's an open line all the way till 10. So feel free to venture any idea, any thought that you'd like to present to us. I had put one or two things on the table. One of the matters that I've raised is a story covered by the Star newspaper, today's edition, wherein they mentioned that 14 people died in a week on our roads due to road accidents, fatalities on our roads, particularly in and around Johannesburg and Gauteng. That's scary. 14 people dying on our roads in just a few days, in just 1 week. I'd love to hear from you. What should we do about this? You sent your voice notes to 072-702-1702.
Hi, Thabo. Sue here. I really think this is a critically important discussion. I see people going through red lights every single day, and this is not just taxis. This is ordinary people. They don't even wait. It's not even the end of the robot when it turns orange and goes red, but even in the middle of the robot, they'll go right through the red. There's no consideration for other drivers. And it makes you wonder. I think in my 30 years or 40 years of driving here in Johannesburg, I don't think I've ever seen a traffic cop stopping somebody for bad road behavior. All they do is they sit on the side of the road. Either they speed trap or they stop and they look at taxis and whether they've got roadworthies or not. This is shocking, and I think that we really need to somehow to change the whole environment. Thank you. Bye.
Good morning. It's Jeannie speaking. I just want to say, we stay in Moretta Park, but the taxis around here, I try to stay calm. You try not to react, but this cannot go on. It's totally lawless. They drive on the wrong side of the road. You've just got to give way and accept it. And that is what I do not accept. Why is this got to go on? Why must they get away with it? They're causing so many deaths. And we've got to stay calm. Thanks, 702, for taking this up.
Morning, Thabo and team. I'm a chill driver. I'm an adaptive driver. When I'm delivering in the suburbs, I rush. Everyone is always in the rush. You might be overtaken, and then 2 houses down, and then someone just turn into the house. That's what happened in the BEPS. Everyone is in a hurry. But when I go to the cars, everyone is chilled. No one is in a hurry. Everyone is just chilled. So I adapt.
Turn right onto...
Okay. Speaking of roads, 10 right. That's quite interesting. If you've just joined us, we're speaking about 14 deaths on our roads in the past week. And we are asking about action to be taken. How should we carry ourselves on the roads? The levels of inconsideration high. People are happy to just be angry at you, pull zap signs, pull down the window, and just scream at you and give you nasty faces. Even when they're doing wrong things, you're not supposed to say anything. You're not supposed to react. I agree with you. I agree with that voice note. Apparently, we must all remain calm when chaotic behavior is happening all around us. It's stressful. And our roads are becoming graveyards. Literally graveyards, because that's where we lose so many good individuals. I'll say it again. 14 people in a week dying on our roads. 14. 5 just yesterday. Just yesterday, 5 on our roads dying because of accidents. 5. No. Am I exaggerating? Am I just being the drama? Oh, that's too heavy. 011-883-0702. You've been holding for some time, Hilton. I really appreciate your patience. I don't take it lightly. Welcome. You're in Parkhurst.
Yeah, good morning. I've been obviously driving for 20 odd years to and from work, and there's no doubt that there's a deteriorating driving phenomenon going on. My view is that there's just a complete lack of discipline and self-discipline amongst all drivers. I think it's spearheaded by the lawlessness of taxis, which drive on the wrong side of the road, push in, fail to indicate, stop red means in their world often means go, and green means stop, and it's just completely lawless. And sadly, that phenomenon has spilled over into the non-taxi drivers, because if the taxi drivers can act with impunity in suburbia, then why can't everybody else? And so we've got this sort of it's almost a metaphor for a deteriorating social compact. And I just think that public conduct at the moment is in a way almost, it's almost like a disease. It's almost like the lawlessness is almost become a sort of a condition that everybody is affected by. And it just seems to just deteriorate further.
It's become a norm, right? It's become a norm.
It's an absolute norm, yeah. And this lack of self-discipline, this lack of discipline, for me, is front and center of the whole thing. And of course, all the other very, very smart things that have been said: lack of visible policing, lack of consequence management. And frankly, I honestly think these taxi associations, we almost need an American type of class action where you bring them you arrest this nonsense. I can understand your average taxi driver is under tight deadlines. He's got to move people from A to B. He earns a pittance. That's not obviously that's the person who must must face consequences with visible policing. But the taxi associations are not doing enough. They're too busy bloody well burning things and going off and doing bad things at shopping centers.
Hilton, before you go, I want to take you up on what you said, and I think we must take that very seriously. It's not simple at all, that self-discipline. And I think that's a very important thing, because it starts with you and I, right? When all is said and done, we'll come to the associations, and I'm not excusing them because I have no reason to, but I think centrality of your profound messaging here is self-discipline, because if Hilton acts in a way that is considerate to others, where he realizes that he's not the only person and he must exercise self-discipline, then it becomes easier for all of us. And if I have that level of self-discipline, I'll obey the rules of the road. I'll overtake on the right side when it's safe to do so, and I will stop when I need to, and I will yield when I need to. But that is not evident at all. And lastly, the people who are perpetuating all of that, they happen to be the very ones who are loud on government issues. And I'm not saying people shouldn't raise government issues, but I'm saying if we want accountability, it must start with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And car disobedience is frankly a metaphor for greater other disobedience.
Yeah.
It feeds into an ever broadening system of non-compliance, reckless disregard, and in fact crime. So you have to arrest it.
Flagrant contravention of rules. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thanks, man. We have to leave it at that, Hilton. I think it was a very interesting call. Really appreciate your time. Very quickly, I'll come to you in a second, Tado and Thandeka. In 1 second, I must read some voice messages that have come through. The blame on bad driving must go to officials who are selling learner and driver licenses, and I would like to understand people who are in South Africa with their home country's licenses, where they train their country to drive in South Africa. Which driving school did they get training from? And this message comes from MJ. Another message says the world has become a lonely place. People are hurting. They're struggling with demands of life. They are stressed. It seems we have lost the ability to connect with one another, to hold space, to be vulnerable. The loneliness suffocating us as humanity. Hi, Thabo. The government should make the use of booze cap device mandatory. It prevents drunk driving at the source. The car will not start if alcohol is detected. For once, they need to be proactive so that we don't have such conversations about our carnage on our roads. Sally in Pretoria. As long as people buy driver's licenses, I'm afraid we shall see more accidents on our roads. That's one of the messages that came through on 072-702-1702. 15 minutes to 10. We go straight to Tato in Pretoria. Tato, hi, welcome.
Bratawo, you know what, I agree with firstly what you said, that we are hypocrites. And the previous caller, like he just said it straight to the point. The problem is we demand accountability from everyone else, but we offer none ourselves. I mean, we demand police visibility and law enforcement, but for the law to be effective, we as citizens need to abide by it. And mind you, the road rules and regulations are meant to keep us safe, everyone. And I mean, pedestrians and drivers. And I mention pedestrians because they too are very reckless. You get what I'm saying? And the minute they get knocked over, then it comes back to the driver that he was reckless. But you guys are crossing the road without looking. So, but my problem, essentially, it's not even about road and whatnot. It boils down to humanity. You know, as a race, we are very selfish beings. We are very corrupt. Like the previous caller said it's a societal thing. What's happening on the road is a reflection of wider humanitarian issues. You get what I'm saying? We are very reckless. We're very selfish. We don't want to look at things on a broader scale. It's always about me. And that, I feel, the minute we start fixing that element of us as human beings, that, you know what, it needs to start with me. I don't care. Don't tell me about the government and who should, because the government is a bunch of people, but mind you, it's a bunch of people, and they're going to put themselves first, because that's what people do. They look out for themselves first. So that's just my take on it. And
you and I both, bro. You and I both.
We need to look at us first before we start pointing fingers elsewhere.
You've said it all. You've said it all, Tato. Really appreciate it. Thandeka, you've also been holding for some time. I don't take that lightly. The floor is yours. I'm quiet.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm trying. I'm free. I'm thrilled that you could hold so long. Thank you. How are you?
No problem. It's been a pleasure to holding so long, because I want to direct the issue of waitresses and all those informal jobs, as people call them. But in honesty, those jobs, they feed families.
Yes, ma'am.
Those jobs, they clothe kids. Those jobs, they give hope to people who are reaching to their destination of their desired occupations, because no one wakes up in the morning and say, I want to be a waitress. No one wakes up in the morning and say, I want to wash people's dishes or saliva. But people underlook those jobs, and then at the end of the day, we're even being labeled as South Africans say. They say we are lazy, or we choose jobs, not forgetting the labor and the skeletons behind those jobs. You are right. The waitresses, especially, I will comment on that part, because I've been a waitress for like 10 years in my life, since I was 18 up to the age of 28. And jumping from one job to another, people, they look at your CV, they think you're unstable or you can't keep a job, but you're just running away from being told that when you want to go and take lunch, they ask you, do you want to take lunch or do you want to make money? I mean, it's crazy. You understand? And at least as waitresses, maybe we do make that money and stuff. But companies now, they've gone to a point where they even select who they want to employ based on your nationality, number one. And people are thinking it's those posse or informal restaurants, but also well-known brands and restaurants.
Yeah.
People that they trusted in lives, saying,
Definitely.
"Oh, this food is good. This, yeah, I know, I trust this place. I know nothing can happen here." If they would know what's going on behind closed doors, they would never even eat in that place.
Yeah.
But I'm not about the hygiene part.
Yeah.
So
it's a show for another day, right?
Yeah, that's one is for another day. But it's crazy how we underlook the tipping and how we think when I give a waiter 50 Rand, they will receive that 50 Rand, only to know maybe they'll just receive 10 Rands from that.
Exactly. No, I think you've raised important issues, Thandeka, and these things help when you engage with waitresses, waiters, and people who are serving us whenever we are in meetings at restaurants and so on. It also humanizes the problem because we realize that we are all the same. People find themselves in difficult situations and they've got to do jobs that they've got to do. They don't necessarily love those jobs, but the least we could do is try to raise our voices on their behalf because they are fighting for their survival. Hence, we said, let's put this under the spotlight today, especially for those who are voiceless. Thandeka, really appreciate your time. 011-883-0702. Let's see who else has been holding the longest. Buhle, you in the East End. Hi, Buhle. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Pat. How are you?
I'm free, bro. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm a bit hurt. Yesterday, the accident you're speaking about on N1, I was unfortunate to drive and were one of the first cars on scene. I stopped, obviously, and I tried to assist, and it was horrible to see. It was horrible to see. There were bodies everywhere.
Oh, no.
It was a very scary scene. But when I stood there and I looked up and I looked at this vehicle that was upside down or overturned, I looked at the rear back tire and the condition that it was in.
Yeah.
And you realize that that's what caused it. Obviously, there's other factors like speed and how the person was operating, but the condition of the tire. And at that particular point, I realized that was not an accident scene. It was actually a murder scene, my brother, because the owner of the taxi, and I think now we need to get into this conversation where the person, and particularly for yesterday's one, has to be charged with a case of actual murder because that vehicle was not in any condition to be on that road. It was really sad to see. There was mothers, fathers in that taxi. People were deceased, and you could see people are on their way to work to attend to their families. People didn't get home because of that.
I'm sorry you had to witness that, Buhle. I'm terribly sorry that you had to see all of that, but I'm glad that you were kind enough to stop and try to find out what was the issue, what had happened. Thanks for the call. Daniel in the Val, hi.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm trying my best. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I'm just about to be honest with you. When it comes to road rage, the issue I always pointed out that if you are driving a smaller car, you are always going to be taken up the right. And I'm just making that as, like now, I'm driving a smaller car and I don't have my left mirror. That happened into something. Someone was driving on a yellow lane, and because they couldn't go past, the guy just came in and smashed my mirror, and he just drove off, and he even started swearing at me like it was something like that.
You mean right now?
I'm driving without a mirror now as we speak.
Oh no!
I don't have a mirror, and all those kind of things. I always say these guys who are driving these new fast cars, the big cars. If you are driving a smaller car, then you are nothing, and you are regarded as, I don't know what they look at. Maybe they think that we are not, these things that we're driving are not cars because they are the most expensive. And the other part is the taxis. Most of the taxis that are operating in our roads, the disc and whatever that thing, they are not roadworthy. You find a taxi that is driving in your area that you and your family going in each and every day, the seat are torn. You can even see the floor while you are actually sitting inside the taxi. But we go into it each and every day. How do we expect to live? Where else we attend into such things? We agree that we're going to go into those kind of taxis. We're not standing firm that we're not going to actually risk our lives, because that is like putting yourself in a suicide matter. You're going to actually donate yourself to this kind of people, because what they want is money, and whatever happens after that, they do not care. Tomorrow they'll go and get another taxi again that is refurbished, and the government is okay with that.
You know,
so
Daniel, and the issue of the attitude of those who are driving huge SUVs and it has come up a number of times. I'm wondering to what extent is the attitude on the road connected to the type of vehicle that is being driven. Please let us know. Pumlani, you are in Joburg. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, try and Pumlani, what's up? What's on your mind?
I'm all right, thanks. I hope I have time.
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm a waiter.
Okay.
Working at a steakhouse. I don't know if we can mention the steakhouse, but the steakhouse. So what's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening there is the Department of Labor comes, they give the food, they write a few statements, they don't come back. So we have a huge issue of non-compliance in terms of the minimum wage. We're not getting it, only getting commission and the tips. The owner has other shops. He takes the tips from the waiters, right? On our side, I had an incident last month where my commission exceeded what I'm supposed to get, and he told me that I have a cap, so I can't pass that amount of money. So basically, he stole the money that I made.
What?
Because he was like, there's a cap that I cannot reach. So when I confronted him about it, that this is demoralizing, what's the point of me pushing sales for me not to earn what I was supposed to earn? He said, if you're not happy, you can stay at home.
How banna?
Yeah.
You see, this is what I'm talking about.
You are even getting this amount of money.
Goodness me, Pumlani. Goodness me. I'm terribly sorry about that. Clearly, we need to do more follow-ups on this. Oh, and this comes from someone in the industry, straight from the horse's mouth. So we're not making all of these things up. I mean, how do you own a restaurant and treat your people like this as well? How do you do that? Let's squeeze in the last quick call. Adifeli. Is it Adifeli or Adifeli? Hi, morning in Pretoria.
Morning, it's Adifeli.
Adifeli Ditaba. You are on. Go ahead, Adifeli. Welcome.
Yeah. My observation, Thabo, is that we are people that are inconsiderate to each other. The people that we as the communities and as the South Africans, the bad driving that we do on the road, we don't even consider the next vehicle. I've seen in many incidents where a person drives recklessly, but when an accident happens, it doesn't affect that person alone. It's the other innocent car, which is a mother of 3 or a father of 7 or 5, that the kids are waiting at home. In the accident, you don't even consider that there will be, you're going to turn the poor kids into orphans. So those are some of the things that when we drive, we only consider ourselves to arrive where we're going, to arrive and safely, without considering all the aspects that I've mentioned.
We have to leave it at that, Adifeli, but we are leaving it on a sad note that when we are reckless on our roads, driving so crazily, we are creating orphans and widows unknowingly. 3 minutes to 10.